What time is it? Ask
your
Aunteas. Hey. Dewan eyes are like,
girl. It's like curtain call. It is like,
it's a wrap. We'll see Dewan the next episode.
I'm telling you, the progression has been hilarious. Even you're laughing, girl. Like you can't even laugh and open your eyes. It's just.
Community, this is an episode you need to watch on YouTube. If you have not subscribed on YouTube, this is the episode to do so, just to watch
And
the
she's
progression.
drinking wine. And she's drinking wine on top of it, too. She said.
She said, it's been a long week, bitch. Leave me alone.
Self-care.
Look,
I know that's right.
Self-care.
I can't stop laughing. It is so funny. All right. Well, last week, we had an Ask Yo Aunteas that was asking, and it was a simple one, just like how many chances are too many chances when they haven't even crossed a line. And we're like, okay, we need more information. We gave the best advice and opinion that we could based on it. So we got an update, and it's actually going to be a continuation for the Ask Yo Aunteas this week. Let's see here. It says, looking back at our Facebook messages, he's been trying to start something since 2009. I didn't break up with my boyfriend until 2011. Attraction is definitely not the problem. He damn near worships the ground I walk on. The problem is he's been hurt so many times that, in my opinion, he's terrified to actually be in another relationship. I don't think he's healed from his last breakup a few years ago. But what keeps me hung up is we both think we're too different. He comes off as an angry person and tends to say, fuck it, while I'm pretty much the opposite, as Auntea Jerrell knows. Hey. He doesn't like the mainstream ideas and constructs while I'm pretty much on board with most of them. He lives in Washington, I live in Minnesota. So there's the added stress of long distance relationship. I won't pretend I don't have my own baggage as well, though. I've never had a serious adult relationship at 33. I've only really had complete duds. So I'm not sure what to expect or accept. I'm not exactly sure where I need to grow in this department, but I'm willing to. I want the titles, but I don't want to end up getting burned. So there's a lot in there.
It's a whole lot.
So maybe we start with, okay, he clearly likes her, worships the ground that she walks on, but it sounds like he's maybe has a lot baggage from prior relationships where he doesn't want to get hurt again. What's the advice on that piece of it?
I'll let you go, boo.
Oh, me or Dewan?
I was letting Dewan go.
Oh, okay.
I'm just trying to remember.
Yo, this is so funny. Yo, this is so funny. The highest in the room.
What was the question again?
Yo, I'm so sorry. This is hilarious. Anyway,
I phone a friend.
Right. We don't lost Dewan.
So what would be your advice? Because it sounds like he has baggage. What would be your advice to help her with navigating just a relationship with someone that has baggage? And it's clear.
Right.
I think part of it is thinking about putting yourself in their shoes.
Yeah.
And like, what baggage are you bringing to the relationship that you may or may not be aware of that they are also assessing?
I think that's a very valid point. I mean, I think it's the easiest way to I don't want to say stay humble, but just stay aware of respecting or accepting someone that has baggage, knowing that we all have it,
Right.
because it's very easy to see what someone else is doing and not reflect in that same situation. Like a lot of people can't do both at the same time. It's I can only see it going this way, and then afterwards I can only see what I'm doing. And in relationships, you have to be able to see both sides of the coin at the same time, like at the same time. Otherwise, you're gonna find yourself going back and forth a lot more, because then you have to break down what they're saying, then go back to what you're saying. You should be able to have that same dialogue at the same time.
Yeah, like I struggle because the first thing that pops in my head is hurt people hurt people. So it's just like I hope he would want to at least take the time to like heal that part, or at least show the steps that he's willing to take that part. Because if he's just kind of like fuck it when things get down and rough, because it's going to happen. Every relationship has these ebbs and flows, and you just don't know what life is going to throw. That might be triggering for him in the moment, and you over here like, hold on, life is hard. I need you. I can't have you be a trigger right now. I need your help. So it's just like, so that's the first thing that pops in my head, and so it's just like I hope he's willing to, like, whatever it needs to be, work on that part of it, because like Jerrell said, we all have baggage, and this person admits it in the letter as well, that they might have baggage as well. We all do. So it's just like, that's the first part for me. Second part is like, okay, he's at least maybe showing aspects that he was tempted to get into a relationship with you if he worships the ground you walk on, so it's one of those things that maybe you just try it and see what happens, but at least from the get-go, have the conversations knowing that he has had bad relationships. Because I get from your end the fear of being like, hey, I haven't really had a good relationship in my adult life, and I'm going into a relationship with someone that has baggage. That might be a moment to pause, and I get that. But if he's willing to just show aspects of it, he's willing to work on it, maybe it's worth trying at least, or at least having the conversation up front. Be just as honest as you are in this note to us, to him. And addressing the fears, addressing the things that you need from the upfront. So now I'm just trying to think, I'm like, where do we go from the next part?
What's the next part you were gonna say?
He's terrified to be actually in another relationship, let's say, but what keeps me hung up is we both think we're too different. And that's the part I don't really kind of get, because he comes off as an angry person, tends to just say fuck it, while I'm pretty much the opposite, and he doesn't like the mainstream ideas and constructs, while I'm pretty much on board with most of them. So for me, it almost sounds like he's open to like maybe open relationships and things like that, while you're kind of maybe a more mainstream relationship kind of person. Is like, I guess kind of right that
I got more from that he's more of like a short-tempered and don't want to go through like the typical hoops and loops that so what you need to do in a relationship. I think he's like, I don't like the construct of today's construct of what a relationship is. I like for it to be defined on my own terms. And I think from what I've gathered, I think he's more of the short-tempered. Because a little bit about Didi, she's a communicator. She likes to talk. And I think he's very more on the opposite end of the spectrum, like the complete opposite end, where he's like kind of like that old school dads, uncles who sit there, they don't say much, they sit there, but you'll hear their partners.
That scares me, man.
Yeah,
because that shows he might not be willing to do like the therapy and willing to like unravel some of this emotional, it sounds like, pain that he has. Because if he's short-tempered, I got time for those short-tempered shit. Like, like, and that's just for me. I'm just not built that way. So for me, I'm like, I don't know if I got that energy in me to deal with that. And it sounds like he's not willing to do the mainstream ideas and constructs of working on yourself.
And that's the part that got me. That's the part, and I would just say this to anyone, truthfully, The moment you notice that one person views a relationship different than you, and when you put them together, it's less than how you see it, you have to automatically adjust. You cannot have the expectation for them to change and raise. Because now what you're asking that person is to do twice as much the work in the relationship, because you're already talking and you're already pouring in, you're already doing things that you typically don't do. And now you're being asked to meet someone at their level.
Yeah, that's hard.
It will be easier for you to go down a notch and play it cool, and then help them think that they're going in the right direction. Just lead them, guide them a little bit, because if you give that expectation of this is what I want and this is where I need to be, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're trying to make something work with someone that is different than you, and it requires more work on their end, you have to have an unlimited amount of patience, because it's no longer about your time. It's about what you want, but what you want has to happen on their time. And that is not on them to move at your pace.
Oh, see, I almost struggle with that though too, because it's just like, especially at the age of 33, because it's just like, how much time and patience do you have?
That's the $1 million question.
That's
the $1 million question.
Because it's just
absolutely.
Like
high risk,
like, is it high risk? Is it high reward? I don't know in this case, right? Personally. Like, it sounds like high risk, bitch better run. Because it's just like, because it's going to get to a point and say, like, because even as much as you try not to, there's going to be a part where you have these expectations that, like, you should be farther along than where you are right now. Yeah. And that's hard to put a pressure of that on that person. And it's just become this like animosity between the two, because maybe he's not ready yet to do the work, and you in your mind are thinking like, well, I'm being patient, I'm being kind, I'm being cool, calm, and collected. But it's been 2 years and your ass still out here short-tempered as shit. That's gonna bother the shit out of you, and you're gonna be like 35, like, why did I waste 2 years of my life? And he's still the same person. And at the end of the day, that was his choice, and it's his life. He can do what he wants. So I don't know.
Listen to your gut at this point. Like, honestly, I think, like they say, everyone got a breaking point. Like, as soon as you feel like enough is enough, make it enough and be done. If you have it on your spirit to still give more, give it.
He's been trying to start something since 2000. I'm just rereading that since 2009.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'll say this though: he got a baby arm.
Wait, say again?
He got a baby arm, so it makes it harder to leave. It makes it hard. Good dig.
I know. See, if we all took a moment to pause, like, damn, you right. But no, like, not since 2009. Go ahead, Dewan.
I feel like I don't even understand why this person is asking us to give them advice when it really feels like there's no reason for them to be together whatsoever. I mean, it seems mostly inconvenient based on where they are. Not just distance wise.
Yeah.
And then then there's this big gap between who they are with their personal lives. And it doesn't sound like there's a fight for it. It's more of a help me understand that I've made a decision to move on.
You're right. Because everything she's kind of put in this letter is almost her spilling her gut out. And then the mental part of it is just like, but I kind of like this guy. I care for him. I don't want to leave him hanging. He's got a baby arm, so the dick is good. He got a cute penis. I get it. But everything, I agree with you, Dewan. Like, everything from the last week's initial question to this week sounds like you know the answer.
And maybe it's about making that list, a comparison list, pros and cons. And
no, a good penis is not 10 points.
Right. Each line written down is one point itself. Okay. That's it. That's 10 points for Gryffindor.
Yeah, because long distance relationship, I've done it. It's hard.
It's really hard. And you gotta be committed, and you gotta feel the commitment.
That part.
Yeah.
And you won't feel the commitment the entire time. There's gonna be days where you're like, I don't think this human being cares about me, and we're
Right.
loyal, and I don't know what they up to. They don't know what
Yeah.
it's a lot. I like
Yeah.
it worked out for me. I'm married now.
Mhm.
I told Corey, I was like, I would never do that again.
Yeah.
Like, because we made it by the skin of our teeth,
Thread.
literally. Because
Yeah.
it's so in both sides, not just for me, for him, it was hard on, you know. So
I mean, relationships in general are work. Like, even if you live across the street from each other, a relationship in general is work. And when you add the distance and it takes away certain things that allows you to easily pour into a relationship,
right,
you really got to be on your P's and Q's
Oof.
on a long distance relationship. Like, you have to be all in, and second guessing is not a way to to make a long distance work. That's
especially going in second guessing already.
Yeah. I just, friend zone, put it on, put it on the back burner for now, and revisit it, when y'all in better situations.
Especially when you say, I don't know what to expect or accept. This is not the expectation, and you shouldn't accept this. Point blank.
Yeah.
Period. That's my opinion.
True. Yeah. Because you remember, you are like everyone, you deserve the best. You are worth it.
Yeah.
And nothing about a relationship should be settling. You compromise, but you should never settle in a relationship, because the compromise is making room for both people to grow. But as soon as you are stunting and shorting yourself, and you are doing more and bringing more to the table, absolutely, you're doing too much. That's in a relationship. You could be by yourself, continue to be single. And that would probably be another thing, like myself. If everything that you do in the relationship is no different than being single, choose being single.
Yeah. And find a good dick in Minnesota.
They're planning.
I'm sure there is. Get on what's the straight version of Scruff and Jacked and all that? Tinder. There we go. Get on that. Find you some good dick in Minnesota, because
Tinder's really gay now. That's how we found.
Is it?
Oh, it's hella
the
good.
gays on took it over.
It's really good.
But yeah, it's not worth the dick. It's not worth the short temper. It's not worth the long distance, especially since this is going since 2009.
Yeah,
that's a long ass time to be trying to wait for someone to do better and want to be better. So it's gonna hurt you. Like, I know that's a lot of time potentially of envisioning what it would be and things like that. At 33, hon, it's time to move on. And yeah. It's gonna be tough though. Go ahead and cry, and it's okay to cry those emotions out. I get it, but I feel like that there's red flags just based by the way you've written this week and last week.
Yeah. And the best way to get over someone is just to pour in yourself.
To get under I'm just saying.
That too.
Not get under someone else.
That too. I'm not opposed. I am, spread like butter. Hey. But that's a form of pouring it back into yourself.
Ooh. Okay. There's so many things I could say.
Maya Angelou.
Right. Well, I appreciate you being so vulnerable on this one and sharing it and willing to say your name and all that stuff. If there's more that you want us to say, or even if it's just behind like the podcast, behind closed doors, we're here for you. But yeah, this one, it just seems like so many red flags. So community, if you have any advice, let us know. Like we'll
we'd love to hear that. Yeah, like someone write in. Maybe you have personal experience of going through something like this that you can share with her. Because that's what makes the community, what it is being able to share our experiences together, just like while we're here every single week.
And whether it worked out. Cool. How did you make it work out? Like what were the roadblocks and challenges in that? And then if it didn't work out, what were the roadblocks and challenges in that? So share the wealth of knowledge. And continue to hit us up at aya@minorietyreport.com or DM us at Minority Report on IG and TikTok and MT Report on Twitter. And again, we have merch at minorietyreport.com.